Bears fans, welcome to the Chicago Sports Podcast. Matt Eberflus speaks, and now I consider Week 3 versus the Dallas Cowboys a belt-to-ass situation. Me and Dose, we're going to talk about all that and a little bit more next on the Chicago Sports Podcast.
Mhm.
Let's go. Yo. Get up, nah I ain't a quitter. Toss me the ball, I'm a really big hitter. Big picture, I'm a straight killer. Rising the song to the highest bidder. Got juice, got gas, I'ma move fast. New shoes, new tracks, like who's that? I'm new, come back, better than last. Yeah, it's a new me, never gonna look back. Never gonna look back. Cause damn, I was built to last. You move slow and I move fast. And that's facts.
Welcome to the Chicago Bears Podcast. Bears fans, how you doing this evening? I am your host tonight. This is D Nice, and I'm with my man Mike Dos Harris. How you doing, brother?
What's happening, bro? Good stuff, good stuff. I'm ready for it.
Yes,
Got the
indeed. Yes,
boxing gloves
indeed.
on.
Yes, indeed. I hope all is well in Chicagoland. I hope all is well with every Bears fan across America, across the world, as a matter of fact. But tonight we're gonna get into a little something. The former head coach had a few things to say in this interview a few days ago. Matt Eberflus speaks. Now, Bears fans, you guys, you've been rocking with us for a little while, so I'm kind of cool on the fact that Matt Eberflus is out of here. I was, what I'm saying. Listen, I was indifferent about him returning back when they was thinking about firing him at one point. I was kind of in the middle, but he said some things, and when he was finally fired, I was cool with that as well. Um, when he left, I was willing to let sleeping dogs lie, let him go to his new situation, and do what he do, be what he gonna be. Knowing we were gonna see him in week 3, I was just willing to have a decent competition and a victory against the Dallas Cowboys. But after going through this interview he did with the Doomsday podcast, um, I announced that week 3 is a belt to ass situation versus the Cowboys. We got to give it to them. I hope some of the team listened to the interview. If they had an opportunity to watch it, I hope they watched it. Because there's some interesting things said in this interview. Eberflus took some shots. Now, I understand the guy taking up for himself, but there's a way to do everything. You know, Matt Eberflus knows that it was very obvious that things went wrong, terribly wrong last year. And he knows the responsibility of a head coach. He knows that things were going left and went left, and largely because of the way he handled his position as head coach. But I want to get into a few things that he said during this podcast interview or whatever. But before I
Please do.
start, Mike, give me a brief synopsis of your observation of Matt Eberflus' tenure as a Chicago Bears coach.
Oh man, where do I start? First of all, I wasn't happy with the hire. Well, let me take that back. I was okay with the hire, but I wasn't happy about it. I said I was kind of let's wait and see. Let's give him a chance. He might surprise me. You never know. We've seen cover two here before. A head coach that love that cover two system. I saw it work in Indy with Tony Dungy. We've seen it
Mm-hmm.
here with Lovey. Give him a chance. So, but as soon as he got here with his first interview, I'm gonna just be honest, and it's my right hand to God. I was thinking to myself like, I don't know, man. He doesn't have a head coach presence about him. Like, and when I say this, you'll know what I mean, man. It's like uh Bill Parcells had a presence. He
Mm-hmm.
filled the whole room with name a team that he coached, and the first name you think about was Bill Parcells. 85 Bears had a whole bunch of Hall of Famers, but we think Ditka. Steelers had put out a bunch of Hall of Famers, but we think Mike Tomlin, and before him, a
Bill
man that's
Cowher.
hosting, Bill Cowher. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Patriots, Belichick.
Mm-hmm.
Eagles, Andy Reid. Now, Kansas City, Andy Reid.
Mm-hmm.
Head coaches bring a certain amount of they inject their presence and their personality on the football team
Influence.
and their influence, and they command um attention. Like I watched the Steelers. I'm not gonna lie, I was watching a lot of Steelers games last year because my boy Justin was on
Mm-hmm.
the team, and they probably showed Mike Tomlin 100 times in 3 games. You know what I mean? Because he commands that type of attention. We never had that with Eberflus. Matter of fact, we hadn't had it since. Man, I give Lovey Smith his props, but before him, Mike Ditka. So
Yeah.
I was never an Eberflus guy. I didn't think he was a. He's a great defensive coordinator. I think very good. I'll give him, but as a head coach, nah. That's my
True indeed.
overall value. Yeah,
True
evaluation.
indeed. Like we didn't like Eberflus didn't get any props until he grew the beard.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that was short lived because shortly after that the season started and it ended
Yep.
for him and
Yep.
for well. Okay. I get what you're saying and you're absolutely right. You're spot on with all of this. All
By the
right,
way,
I'm
not
gonna
trying
get
to
into
give McDonald's no free advertisement. Sorry about that, but
no, you good.
my sweet
Let's
tea
get
here,
in
yeah.
let's get into well, I'll be remiss if I don't do this. First of all, I want to thank everyone checking us out wherever you're checking us out from. The Chicago
Hmm.
Sports Podcast family really appreciate you guys rocking with us. Please hit the like and subscribe button. Please leave your comments in the chat about this subject if you have any at all. But we do appreciate you sitting on in here and checking us out tonight. Also, a big congratulations to Mr. James Childress. He is our first jersey winner
Mm.
in the free giveaway. So shout out to him. Much deserving guy. He's a real key cog of the Chicago Sports Podcast family. We really appreciate all his efforts and he's amazing. Amazing guy. He's the first winner of the jersey giveaway and coming next month we'll be giving jerseys away quite regularly. You guys stay tuned for it and please bring your comments in to qualify for the jersey of your choice. Shout out again to Mr. James Childress. All right, back
Hmm.
at it. Shout out to the chat as well. You guys come on in here and let's hear your thoughts about this. I'm pretty sure you guys got a whole lot to say, and we're here to listen and comment on what you got to say. First thing I noticed in this podcast, Matt Eberflus is lack still. He's gone now. But he still hasn't learned from his tenure as a head coach. He showed so much. He's still showing a lack of accountability for how things
Zero.
transpired with this football team.
Mm.
I want to know what you think about that.
A head coach comes with a lot of glory. Like I said, they show Mike Tomlin 100 times on TV when he's on there, but it also comes with a lot of responsibility and a lot of accountability. And that's probably why he failed in Chicago. Because when if I'm a teacher and my whole class flunks, gets F's, and I walk out of there and I tell the principal, those kids just ain't worth a damn. If I'm the principal, I'm like, hey, dude, you got to go. It's you fired. You show that's the teacher's responsibility to teach. it's a coach's responsibility, well, for one, to make his players better, and to teach also. And man, I was watching Greg Gabriel, and this is back in the when we had Justin, um, and he was saying how Justin Fields, from some inside source he had, hadn't been coached a day since he'd been there.
Hmm.
And I was just hoping and praying they didn't do the same thing with Caleb. And it looks like it happened last year too. You know, after hours, when he needs that guy that he can call in the middle of the night, even Kobe called Jordan, you know, when he needs that guy in the middle of the night, hey man, how do I, look at this defense? How do I read this? Um, apparently he didn't have anybody. Justin didn't have anybody either, and they said he couldn't read the defense. Well, now we're starting to see why a lot of things happen that happen. So that's my take on it, man. I put all the responsibility on the head coach for something like that. If you can't do it, hire somebody. You
Absolutely.
know.
And Eberflus is a guy. He's he has some pretty good coaches of his own. Some legendary coaches that he can reach back and give a call and say, "Hey, how do I
Mm-hmm.
handle this? Or how do I do this?" Because
Mm-hmm.
I gave him grace being a first time head coach,
Yeah, me
and
too.
I was kind of I show empathy because I understand how hard the job is,
Mm-hmm.
but the way he went about things, especially as the years went on, it didn't seem like he learned anything from
Right.
it.
Right.
So, and
Right.
I say that he lacked accountability because he's applauding all the things in his new situation that Schottenheimer's doing in Dallas that you should have been doing here.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
That's
Yep.
what you're applauding now, and what you're pushing off on everyone else are things that you should have done here.
Yep.
You know, and that was kind of like the first 5 minutes of the other thing, and I'm like, okay,
Yeah. And
you
to
know,
to
it
to
really
your
made
head.
me want to listen a little bit more.
Yeah, and to your point, your first point about him overall as a head coach, how many post game interviews did we listen to where he was doing the coach speak, zero accountability, just all coach speak, all and when I say that, I mean just real vanilla, generic coach speak, no in depth answers to what they were asking, and zero accountability, and it sounded like like if you recorded the game before and listened to it again, same answers, same rhetoric, put it that
Hmm.
way. I
Yeah,
mean, that's what I got from him.
and listen, bro, I don't know if you ever coached any at any level,
Mm-hmm. I
PV,
have.
whatever. I've
Mm-hmm.
coached. I've done some coaching as well, and because, like you mentioned earlier, influence is so important
Mm-hmm.
as a coach to team. Influence is so key as coach to team. Even if things weren't necessarily directly on you, you
Mm-hmm.
have to take that blame for that.
You have to. Have
Especially when
to.
you're coaching
Yep.
younger guys who are new to certain situations. It
Yep.
is your responsibility to bring to kind of push your influence on what's
Mm-hmm.
happening with the ball club.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, teams change, players change, new players come in, old players leave, but
Yeah.
your influence and the culture you set as a coach should always remain the same and shouldn't bend a
Yes.
break for nobody.
Yes. Yes. And
That wasn't what you did, Mr. Eberflus.
no. Mm-mm.
Okay?
Nah.
So, all right, that was number one for me. And it just happened so early. It happened fresh out the gate. Like, he didn't even give me a chance to sit down. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I'm saying? Before he
Uh.
spewed out that. Number two, he takes shots at polls in the front office on how they acquire personnel, their behavior in the draft room, um, how in his new situation now, guys were so hands on. Guys communicated so great in the draft room this year when it came down to picking players in the draft compared to what happened in Chicago, where it seemed like guys were, not aligned as far as the guys they wanted. The
Mm,
communication wasn't there between the guys and things of that nature. Also, when it came to acquiring the guys that's needed for his defense, he said in Dallas,
hmm,
we have a plethora of rushers. We have other rushers. That's what he said, other rushers. And when you're put in a situation where you only have one good rusher rushing from one end of the ball, it
mm.
makes your job incredibly difficult.
Woo.
Now, that wasn't verbatim, but in in a nutshell, that's what he said. And most of it is
Okay.
what it is, bro. Okay? So
Yeah. I
now
got something
I'll
for
give
that
him
too.
this.
Hmm.
Pose when it came down to certain personnel and certain guys, hey, he missed. But everybody
Hmm.
misses.
Hmm.
Okay?
Right.
But your job as a coach, and he spoke on the development. That's on you, bro.
Yeah. Who else is it on?
Okay. Now, now,
Uh,
I'm a guy that feels like the player has a lot of say in his development,
yeah.
but it's your job as the coach to give him direction.
And motivation.
Let him
Yeah.
know what he needs to develop on, what he needs to work on. Let him know what his impact is to the team.
And
Let the player
confidence.
know which
Hmm.
direction we're trying to head on this ball club, on this defense,
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
this defensive line, as a linebacker, as a corner or safety.
Hmm.
It's your job to give him that direction. You didn't do that, man.
Yeah.
But the shots at pose, I wasn't really tripping on that because, hey, man, you know, it's hit or miss. And pose attacked this thing kind of wrong, and he admitted that in his own press
Hmm.
conference. He attacked it wrong as far as acquiring personnel and getting the necessary guys in. He did it wrong. He did it backwards. Those are his words. He
Hmm.
did it backwards. So
Agreed. I thought that real time too, but that
yeah,
hey,
yeah, he took accountability for that.
yeah.
But in Matt Eberflus's time to let his hair down, he chose to say that.
I
Okay,
got something for that too. Let me interject something on
go
that on your
for it.
point. As far as the pass rush goes, so what was it? Week before last, I think it was. It was on our group Facebook group chat. I think it was Brandon posted something about Javon Dexter that I didn't know. Let me ask you something. What do you think about Jalen Carter? What do you think the league as a whole thinks about Jalen Carter?
Well,
Your
now
own
that he's
personal
on a Super
opinion.
Bowl winning team, he's larger than
Mm,
life.
yeah. And they was giving him all kind of props on
Yeah,
national TV talking about how good he was and deservedly he is a force.
yeah.
Check this out, man. So they had a list. It's a list that Tracks posted and it was like top 15 or so um NFL tackles that actually what was it that touched that basically made contact with the quarterback basically,
Okay.
and they was numbering them 1 through 15 or whatever 10 whatever it was. Well, I want to say Javon Dexter was like number 6, I think it was, or number 4, somewhere up there, way higher than I thought, top 10. Jalen Carter was like 2 slots behind him. So that made me think. I was like, well, how many snaps? They might be kind of skewing that list. How many Well, how many sacks? That's what it was. So I looked up
Okay.
how many sacks they had.
Hmm.
Well, Javon Dexter had five. Jalen Carter had like 4.5, something like that. Five, 4.5. He beat him in sacks too. Then
Hmm.
I said, well, how many snaps? Because maybe Javon had way more snaps. Maybe Jalen Carter got hurt or something. I look
Yeah.
up the snaps. Jalen Carter had like 800 something snaps to Javon Dexter's 400 something snaps. He almost doubled him in snaps. So he played twice as much, and Javon Dexter outdid him in quarterback hits and sacks. So Javon Dexter didn't play a lot. We're not. I know I didn't give him the credit that he deserves, and I'm that's an Eberflus call too. If he's playing that well against the pass, um, play him. Play him. You hold them back. So you got him and Sweat, and that's usually what you need. At least one in the middle and one on the outside, and you can cause some havoc. So that was just something I didn't know. So there goes his whole pass rush help thing. There goes that.
Yeah, and specifically, I think we all know that he was talking about from the defensive end, but he cried about a three technique in which, Pose did what he's supposed to do and got him one. May not have
Yeah.
been the most popular one at the time, but he got him one that
Mm-hmm.
showed that he could be
Mm-hmm.
productive. But he
Yeah.
can improve on some certain aspects of his game, just like Jalen Carter could as well, you
Mm-hmm.
know. But the thing is, Jalen Carter is on the championship football team, and the
That's the
Bears are 5
thing.
well.
That's the thing.
Shout out to the guys on the check in the chat. James Shears and Illinois Jones. Shout out to you guys. Shout out to Tracks. What's good, everybody? Shout out to the people watching. Shout out to y'all. I'm gonna keep shouting y'all out. I need y'all to hit that button though. I'm gonna speed it up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Number three, he takes shots at Caleb Williams. Now, I kind of get this because this is a guy that's defending himself.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a way to do it, man. You know, Caleb said that he didn't have anyone to watch film with. Now, we all knew and if we know what he was talking about, this guy should have known what he was talking about as well.
Mm-hmm.
On his podcast, he made it his business to say that they had daily coach film sessions. All right. This is coming from a guy that with the old OC, Luke Getsy,
Yeah.
Luke Getsy was on record saying that Matt Eberflus had no involvement in
Yeah.
the offense
Yep.
at all while he was there.
I think
Those
Justin
guys
Fields
didn't
said
really
that
like
too.
each other. They didn't even
Yeah.
speak.
Mm-hmm.
And you want
Mm-hmm.
to tell me that y'all had daily coach film sessions. But what about after practice? What about
Right.
before practice? What about on off days? Who was working with this young man? Who did you employ to be hand in hand with this young man as he's learning the
Mm-hmm.
NFL game, as he's learning how to watch film, as he's trying to figure this thing out? Who did you employ to do that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we all know who was employed from a position standpoint, but you, the head coach, you weren't decent enough to point out one guy on that offensive side of the staff on that side to walk with this young man as he watched his film, as he's trying to get better. Someone to help him understand. Now, I'm sure Caleb has his own people, but when the season's on, this is y'all job. Y'all getting paid to do
Mm-hmm.
this.
Yeah.
His people is his people.
Yeah.
These people is for his own personal when he's developing on his own in the off season. But in season, it's your job to appoint someone to be hand in hand with this guy when it comes down to watching film and understanding what he's looking at. Now we all know Caleb is an intelligent guy. We all know that Caleb is a very good quarterback. He's shown it because his production in the midst of chaos. He embraced all the chaos and still was able to produce a very solid season as a rookie. Okay? But you want to talk about the daily coach film sessions. After these film sessions, all right, you go on the grass, you practice, you go through everything. But what happens after, Mr. Eberflus?
Right.
Let's talk about that. And of course, they didn't get into that because they're more concerned about the Cowboys. Right.
Right. Right.
Then he goes on to give credit.
Oh, well, I got
Go
one for
ahead, go
that to
ahead.
add to your point. Okay, so if he didn't have three offensive coordinators and two blue chip prospects at quarterback, not just Caleb, he had two, and they both, I mean, and neither one of them was coached today. Like I said, Greg Gabriel said the last quarterback wasn't coached the day that he had been in Chicago. Justin Fields, I'm talking about now. Here's Caleb saying kind of the same thing. Nobody helped me after I didn't know what to look for. The NFL is complicated, highly complicated. These exotic blitzes and all this stuff. You need somebody with some experience to say, hey, look, son, this is what you're looking for here. This is what you're looking for there. Like I said before, even Kobe had Jordan to call. So if you can't do it as a head coach, which he may not have been able to, you're responsible for hiring somebody who can do it, who can supply him what he needs in his development process. That's called developing a quarterback. That's part of it. So again, lack of accountability.
It's as simple as appointing one of these guys, one of these lesser known guys on your
Hmm.
staff. Somebody under Shane Waldron. Or, even the guy that took Shane Waldron's place. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
When he was fired. You could have
Yep.
appointed him to work with Caleb. And he was on record as saying that him and Caleb didn't really have a lot of
They
communication
didn't even talk.
prior to. Come on,
They
man.
hadn't even talked.
Come
Whose
on,
fault
man.
is that?
Come on,
Who is that
man.
on the head coach?
What part of the game
Man,
is that, bro? Like, for
yeah.
real, like, come on, man.
Mm-mm.
What we doing?
Mm-mm. Maybe if he wasn't so busy calling defensive plays, he could have thought about something like that. Maybe. I
Maybe.
don't know.
He made himself the defensive coordinator.
Yeah, he did.
Instead
Yeah.
of being the overseer of the entire team. He just stuck to what he was good at.
Yup. Yup.
So, and like I say, he took shots at Poles in the front office. I guess this would be our time to take shots at Poles too, because maybe should have hired him as a defensive coordinator instead of head coach.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Agreed.
Okay.
Agreed.
All right. Then he goes on to because we all, like, most of us know that he was there in Dak. He was in Dallas with Dak Prescott was brought onto the team and named started as a rookie. He goes on to applaud Dak as a rookie leader and said that his leadership was fantastic and how Dak's leadership catapulted them to, in his first 10 games, to go 9-1, and to further push them into the playoffs. And the reason why Dak had such an incredible year as a rookie, because he showed himself as such a great leader, a humble guy. We listen. Now, I took that person like I took that. I was like Michael Jordan taking it personally with that one. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Because,
Yeah.
bro, we see what you're doing, man.
Mm.
We see that you are taking a shot at your rookie QB.
Yeah.
You took a
It's called
shot at
deflection.
you took a shot at his leadership, man,
Yeah.
because things didn't work out the way a lot of us thought it should have. Maybe not 9-1 or in the first 10 games, but we should have been a lot better record wise.
Mm.
But you want to take accountability. You want to give Dak such credit and kind of on the slide kill Caleb, and essentially saying that Caleb's lack of leadership or whatever was the reason why this team fell apart like it did. Which goes back to
Mm.
number one. You're not taking accountability for your part in this stuff, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like, listen, I may not say this stuff
Yep.
verbatim, bro, but this is what if anyone goes back and listens to this podcast, and I would suggest you guys to do so. This is what was said. This came out of his mouth. You know, I ain't making up nothing. Now, I
Mm-hmm.
may, what I'm saying, be digging in a little too deep or a little deeper than normal, which can bring out my pettiness, you know what I'm saying, about these things. But that's what he said. I ain't making
Yeah.
it up. All right,
No,
so
you're not.
so
Mhm.
right there, how do you feel about that?
Well, I just got one thing to say about that. Name me anybody, a head coach on down, who would take a rookie Dak Prescott, who was a fourth round pick,
There you go.
over a rookie Caleb Williams, who was not only a first pick overall, but deemed generational.
Yeah.
He was a much better prospect than Dak Prescott coming out of college. So that sums it up right there. What are you saying? You rather have Dak, a rookie Dak, than rookie Caleb? What is your point in that? So yeah, nobody's gonna say that.
Nobody.
Yeah.
But listen, when things fall like they did, it'll give you room to say that just to take the pressure off yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? When things
Mm-hmm.
happen when things transpire the way they have, it'll give you room to point these things out just so you can escape out the back door.
Mm-hmm.
And again, it goes back to the lack of accountability shown. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yep.
and last, he says the identity of his defense is to stop the run
Mm.
and take away the football. Now I give him listen, we did decent taking away the football,
Mm.
especially 23. Okay. In 24, it wasn't as good as 23, but the end of 23. But I give him the taking away the football side. But
Mm-hmm.
this stopping the run thing, hey bro, last year the Bears were 29th versus the run.
Yeah.
Now, you can say, well, they fired him. And after they fired him, it all went to hell. No, it was going to hell week one. Because people that watched that game, Tennessee had a pretty good game on the ground.
Mm.
Rushing the football, Tennessee had a pretty good game. I mean,
Yeah.
like, numbers aside, we ain't even talking about no numbers. We just talking about watching it.
Yeah.
We
Well,
watched we watched those two running backs do very well on the ground.
yeah. And it got worse after Billings got hurt too. So that
Indeed.
that would be joint on him and Poles because Poles didn't supply maybe another big run stuff in the middle to help out with that. But and it falls on your linebackers too.
Indeed.
Your middle linebacker especially, who I'm gonna just go ahead and say it, wasn't even better than the dude that was playing strong side, Jack Sanborn, who just let go. Um, Sanborn outplayed Edwards, excuse me, to me. Wait, Edmonds, not Edwards.
Edmonds,
Edwards is a
yeah.
stud. Edmonds.
Yeah.
So I mean, we were weak. We missed a lot of plays at linebacker too, stopping that run. So that's joint on him and Poles. I give him that. And the players, of course.
Yeah. Shout out to Dante. What up? Shout out to Shy Will 24. Yeah, after Billington got hurt, it got wicked. It got spooky, man.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
still in all, man, your job, what I'm saying, as coaches to develop not only the starters, to
Yep.
help the direction of the starters, but the guys in the reserve roles as well.
Yep.
You know, and
Yep.
and I hate to go back this far, but listen, this is the reference that we have, okay? In Lovie Smith's tenure, he made it his job to make sure those guys that were playing behind guys like Tommy Harris, like Tank Johnson.
Mm.
It made sure it wasn't a major drop off when
Yeah.
those guys, went out and got a breather. Those
Yeah.
guys were prepared. They understood the job. They understood the assignment. And
Yeah.
it's your job, Mr. Eberflus, to make sure those guys that play, the reserve guys, understand what's up.
Yeah.
And the way you coached, and I ain't giving the players no slack because man, you ain't never supposed to quit. You ain't never
Mm.
supposed to make the decision to start booking your trip to Cancun in week 6 or 7, man.
Mm. Mm.
You
Which
know
is on the head
that,
coach too.
that's what I'm leading to.
Yep.
You know your ideologies and the way you handle these men allowed them to quit on you. Now I'm not giving them no, you know what I'm saying. Listen, I ain't saying quitting is cool for you kids out there. Never quit, but
Mm.
these grown men quit on you
Yeah. Yep.
because the way you was mismanaging things as the head coach.
Mm-hmm.
The only person that was willing to deal with you was Caleb. We
Mm.
watched DJ Moore walk off the field in live action
Oh, he was so hot. Yeah. Yep.
because you wouldn't, as the head coach, take the reins and on this team from an offensive standpoint and request and force these guys to make changes. Then the other players seeing how you handle DJ Moore when he walked off in live action, and everybody else was like,
Yeah.
he ain't gonna do nothing.
Yep.
That's what they said. He ain't gonna do nothing.
Yep.
He ain't say nothing to him. He ain't say nothing to him. Tyreek played in your face, bro, in front of everybody. And it took
Mm.
pressure from the media and the guys in the locker room for you to stand up in front of them and really make a decision on him. Really, them players made the decision on him, not you.
Yeah. Yeah.
At the end of the year, Jalen Johnson made it be known to your face, Mr. Eberflus, how he felt about the way you mismanaged his team, bro. Now, I ain't giving the players no out because, again, some of these guys are good enough to overcome Flus and his bull BS. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But they weren't motivated to do so.
Mm-hmm.
And that's another key thing from a head coach. When things ain't going right, you still motivated to be the best you can be. And they wasn't getting that from Matt Eberflus, man. They weren't getting that from him. So instead of Matt Eberflus just kind of, when he left here, just really focusing the direction on his new situation. And maybe he, you know what I'm saying? I'm sure he heard what Caleb had to say and he had some time to think about it. But you as, I understand he's a human being, but you as, someone with such a higher tenure in the NFL, you having all these great former head coaches and people that you can kind of reference from when handling situations like this, you chose violence, sir. Now you did it in your way, real passive aggressive. He did it in the Eberflus way. He was true to that. But you chose violence, bro. And me and a lot of other Bears fans, I'm sure you too, Mike, a lot of other Bears fans, we taking it personal. And I hope the players are taking it personal. That's why
Mm.
I declare week 3 a belt the ass situation, bro. And I don't want to win by a field goal. I want to Steve Spurrier him. You know how Steve Spurrier be up by 30
Yeah, man.
and still throwing play action post routes.
Yeah,
Fourth quarter,
yeah.
2 minutes to
Hey, man,
go.
you
Two
showing your
minutes to go,
age on
fourth
that.
quarter.
Yeah,
We
I
still
remember
doing
that.
that. We on
Yeah.
that. We on that week 3. We gonna keep it
Yeah.
cool. We gonna be smooth the rest of the year. But week 3 in that versus Cowboys, fourth quarter, we throwing play
Yeah.
action post routes with 2 minutes left in the game. We on it.
I'm
Got to
with
make
it.
it. We got to, man. Like, listen, bro.
Yeah.
We ain't finna let you get away with that, Mr. Eberflus.
Yeah.
Can't. We can't. But and
I
you
will
know,
say this.
huh?
I think one good thing Ryan Poles did this offseason, if he didn't do nothing else, I, I think this dude is different. Ben Johnson, I think we got a coach, man. I really do, man. He's already calling out details and things that supposedly they didn't hear from the last regime, man. He's
Mm-hmm.
very detail oriented. And I just got a feeling. I think we got the next one. When I say the next one, I mean Mike Shanahan, Kyle Shanahan, the guy out the Rams,
Mm-hmm.
him, the guy at the Vikings, the guy at Green Bay. I think we got the next young offensive minded
Mind. Yes, sir.
genius head coach, man. I really do.
We'll
So we'll
see.
see.
There. I listen. I'm in agreement with you, but
Mm,
we still need to see him as a head coach. But from where it is now,
mm-hmm,
sounds good. You
mm-hmm,
know what I'm saying? We want to see it, transpire into training camp and go into the exhibition season and flow into the regular season.
mm-hmm.
And then, we'll really see what's up coming training camp. But
Yeah.
right now, he's making a very good impression. And you like
Mm-hmm.
you said, it's even the players are saying it. That's the first thing they say. It's
Mm-hmm.
different.
Different.
But
Different.
listen, week 3 versus Cowboys. After we score that on that deep post route with 2 minutes going to fourth quarter,
Yeah. Yeah.
we
Yeah.
going for 2.
Yeah.
Going for 2. We got to listen. We have to Steve Spurrier this dude, man.
Oh
We have
shoot.
to.
Up
Like,
by
we gonna be
10.
classy. Look, we'll be classy against everybody else, man.
Mhm,
And listen,
mhm.
Cowboys fans, y'all take a whole lot of heat. I really don't want no
Yeah.
smoke with y'all. But
Yeah.
y'all gonna catch these straight because y'all hired the enemy. Y'all hired the ops.
Yeah.
And we gotta see y'all, man.
Yeah,
Belt the
man.
ass situation week 3. I declare. All you Bears fans, put that in y'all notes. A belt to ass situation. That Sunday. I don't know the exact date, the day of the date.
Yeah.
Week 3 versus the Dallas Cowboys is now declared belt to ass Sunday.
Let's go get him.
Let's go get them. Man, it's been a treat, Mike. Um,
Always.
wanted to run through this Matt Eberflus podcast interview. You got anything you want to say before we get up out of here?
No, brother. Love the rant. I couldn't have put it better myself. And I'm with you. No accountability. That's why we didn't need him. We got somebody new now, and I got high hopes for this guy. And I honestly can say that I haven't felt that in a while, that optimistic about a Bears head coach, man. So we'll revisit this months from now and see if I'm right or wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're in good hands now.
Listen, I'm in total agreement, man. And like I said, just because we haven't seen Ben Johnson as a head coach,
Hmm.
I'm still gonna give it a little time. But
Hmm.
as things go along, things are looking right. Things are looking different, which is what we want to see. Players are responding um, in the right way, and everybody's talking a good talk. So, like I said, come training camp, we're gonna really see what's up.
Mm.
And we're gonna have free reign to call out anything that looks merely close to what left here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, and
Yeah.
I would hope it don't come to that, but hey man, you know what I'm saying? If it does,
Hmm.
then we gotta handle business as Bears
Amen
fans.
to that.
Yeah.
Amen to that. Hey man, let me
So
give a shout out real quick to my
go
cousin
for it.
Sean Poe, who was on here last week, couple days ago, and I missed him, man. But you did a great job, brother. I see you in a little bit. And a shout out to Trax for asking me to be on tonight. I
Hmm.
appreciate it.
Yeah, I appreciate you being on. You know, someone up here with me as I go on this
Oh man.
unusual rant, man. But
Yeah.
that little 30 minutes he did kind of got to me, man. Because bro, you could have bowed out gracefully, man, and just went on
Mm,
and you to embark on your new endeavor with the Cowboys. You know, you expressed how much you love Jerry, and they brought you
mm.
in there, and that's all you should have did. But when you
He could have gave
start,
Ryan Poles a shot. I mean, a shout out for giving him a chance where
yeah, I
nobody else
mean,
gave him one.
yeah, and because you were fired before we hired you, bro.
Yeah, yeah.
Like let's keep it real. But
Hmm.
listen, shout out to everyone watching. Shout out to the chat. James,
Shout
Dante,
out to the
Illinois
chat.
Jones, Trax, Miss Cheryl. We appreciate y'all checking in. Anyone I missed, I hope I didn't. Shy Will. Let's see. Anyone else I missed, I apologize. But it's nothing but love for you guys with y'all interactions and the way y'all participate with us here at the Chicago Sports Podcast. Listen, this is for Bears fans, by Bears fans. We appreciate you guys for watching wherever you're watching. Again, please like and subscribe. Hit the link. Leave a comment. Say what's up. Say how you feel about Matt Eberflus in the interview if you listen to it. And I encourage all y'all to go back and listen to it. Just so we can
Yeah.
be fired up. I might listen to it again before that game on week 3, man. You know what I'm saying? But I'm serious, man. Look, man,
Oh,
we got the Steve Spurrier here, man. It has
mm,
to happen, bro.
mm.
It has
I'm
to.
with
And
it.
like I said, man, when we supposed to be running the ball, play action over the top.
Up by
Yeah.
10, play action with a 2-point conversion. Yeah,
Yeah.
let's go
Two
get
point,
it.
2 point conversion. But
Yeah,
listen, thank you guys for watching. Mike, I
thank you.
appreciate you for landing your plane here, sir.
No
Um,
problem, my dog. No
I
problem.
hope everyone has a wonderful rest of the evening. I want to give a shout out again to everyone that participated with us tonight, who has sat in and checked on us tonight. Being that we understand that it's an NBA game on tonight. It could be the end of the season tonight, or we could have a
Ah,
game 7. But through it all,
yeah.
man, appreciate you guys checking us out. Peace up, bear down, have a good night.
Bear down.